Hello, how are y'all doing today? The topic that I chose to write on was online learning versus traditional learning. The main purpose of this was basically just to put like online learning and traditional learning side by side and to take a deep dive into seeing like what had higher success rates, what motivated the students more, what students lean more towards, what teachers and educators lean more towards teaching style wise, and what they just saw like more success in. The audience is intended for educators and administrators. I feel like they would get a great deal of benefit just taking a deep dive into this conversation. The key terms that I searched in whenever I was going through this was online learning style, traditional learning style, hybrid learning style, and post-COVID learning. First, I wanted to start with the qualitative research articles. Honestly, with the qualitative research articles, I found these probably most like easy to read. I just liked them a little bit more just because it take a deeper dive into like what administrators and educators and students actually like, how they really felt about online learning versus traditional learning. I feel like the interviews and the surveys took a really interesting dive into like what they could really express about it. The one I want to highlight is titled "The Sudden Transition to Synchronized Online Learning During the COVID-19 Pandemic in Saudi Arabia, a qualitative study exploring medical students' perspectives." And in this one, it took a deep dive into students in Saudi Arabia post COVID-19. It looked at their like digital teaching and learning styles. And it was aimed to explore undergraduate medical students' perceptions regarding effectiveness of synchronized online learning. It was basically like a discussion guide with 7 open-ended questions. It had 8 focus groups, and the 4 core themes that came out from this was educational impact, time management, challenges encountered, and preferences for the future. The pros that they received in the results were that online learning was well received. It was a lot of time saving and performance, and like their performances had improved. Some of the cons that they saw in the results were that the content perception was altered, and then the technical challenges as well. But whenever they asked the groups at the end, most of them preferred the online learning. The next one is quantitative research articles. The one I want to highlight in this one is assessing online learning material, quantitative behavior patterns, and their effects on motivation and learning performance. So this one was an 8-week study, and it broke the groups into different groups, and it created 3 clusters. One of the first clusters was a consistent time spent student, less time spent student, and a slide intensive use student. So basically the consistent time and less time spent students, they were like assessing online material. And then just for the last one, the slide intensive students, they were just doing strictly slides. So they weren't looking online for many things. So it was 59 undergraduate students in their 3rd year, and the results came out as consistent use students, the ones that were looking at the online stuff as well as like the teaching, had higher results. They had higher motivation, higher goal oriented, and just had higher outcomes on the tests that they put them through. For the mixed method research, I wanted to highlight the shifting teaching and learning in online spaces, an investigation of faculty online teaching and learning initiative. And this one, it was a year-long study that had 2 purposes. The first purpose was professional development with new teaching styles. And then the second purpose was understanding the teacher's perceptions of online and blended learning. This one, they first started off with the quantitative side, because it was doing like it would ask them questions on a Likert scale, like a 4-point Likert scale. It would ask them to rate like their feelings about online styles of teaching, and then they would immediately follow it up once they got done with the surveys. They would follow it up with the qualitative style, and they would ask them like structured interviews to get more information out of them. The results showed that the early adapters into like the online learning, the ones that were more accepting of it at the beginning, they had more success rates and just higher qualities of teaching, and they had higher success rates than the teachers that were like the late adapters of it. In conclusion, the results on most of my articles, not just those three that I touched on today, but on most of them, they were leaning towards the side of online learning, which I understand because I feel like it's just a lot more convenient, and you still get the same amount of information. You have more time to do your studies and stuff. It saves a lot of time. This topic is an important conversation because it's going to keep like on continuing as we continue post COVID and stuff. More things are turning online, and more people are getting used to and adapted to this like online lifestyle. So I feel like it's important because going forward, it's not going away anytime soon. So that conversation is a good conversation, and it should be had. And then these are just my works cited. Thank y'all.